Good morning. Happy Friday. What's going on, guys? Hold on one second. Let me pop out the chat and see who is here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I got my coffee. I'm ready to go. So we have BlackRock with a massive plan that actually we talked about this the other day, or what I said was to control Bitcoin, right? Wait until you guys hear what this guy has to say over on Crypto Zombies channel. He actually plays a video that someone else that he just came across actually talks about, and it's amazing. It is amazing. Chris Hanley, not today. Almost. Not today, though. It is still warm down here, though. I'm not going to lie. Mr. Alvidus, what's up, buddy? We have Andrew Masad. What's up, man? Good to see you. Black Snake, good to see you as well. We have Allset Miner, Chris Hanley, Chuck Danger, Steven Cicero, Max Voltage. Good morning. Hopefully you had your Raisin Bran today, so you're not so bitchy. Yeti, what's up, bud? We have Dom G. What the hell, man? Hit me up. Actually, Sadie sometimes still getting the hash rate. I'm just going to leave it on her if you don't want to hit me up, because you won, sir. All right. How's the camera look today? Does it look a little better? Maybe. You know what it is? It might be because I'm going into StreamYard and then to my Streamlabs with this camera. So I don't know if it's messing up the quality of it, but let me know how it looks to you guys. Son of a Rabid Panda, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Dave's FinTech channel. Good to see you as well. And Kaiser, good morning. All right, Patrick Murphy, what's up, buddy? If I missed anybody, I apologize. Let's get into this, and then we'll get into some videos, see how the market's looking first. All right, Bitcoin 25,810, 1625 for Ethereum. We have Dogecoin 6 cents, just over 6 cents, and XRP under 50 cents. Litecoin is 62 bucks. Let's check crypto bubbles on the week. We have Caspa up 11.7%. Let's see, Gala's down 15.9, DYDX down 9. We have MIOTA is plus 11. What the hell? That one just disappeared on us. Did you see that bubble disappear on us right in front of our eyes? All right, so IOTA, let's see. What is this? Up 11%. Does anybody have this? Anybody into this coin? No idea. Let's see. We have a daily rug pull. We got one. Let's see. SNX, not a rug pull, but synthetics down 6.8%. Damn, this thing's been on a downtrend. Crazy. Hex, how is this whole lawsuit thing going? Does anybody know with that Richard Hart guy? Ridiculous. The correct term is popped. Yes, it popped. The bubble popped on us. Caspa is down 2.5% today. What is it at? So it's still under 4 cents. 379. So 3 cents. I mean, 3.5, a little over. Not too bad. All right, let's check out the fear and greed index. Try not to blind you guys while we do that. We have 46 in fear. Same thing. Nothing's changed. Honestly, it's probably going to go a bit lower this month. I would be surprised if it doesn't. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap, and then we'll get into it. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, USD Coin, Lido Staked Ether. We have Cardano, Dogecoin, and Solana. As always, Litecoin. Man, I can't believe it got knocked down 5 pegs, though, to be honest, because it was in 10th, like 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. And then Shiba Inu in 16th, if anybody has Shiba. I am a SHIB millionaire, and I am waiting to dump that shit as soon as it goes up. I can't wait. All right, let's get into this first. We're going to start with crypto world. This is just going to kind of go over the ARK Invest's ETF spot spot ETF for Ethereum. I'm assuming they talk about a little bit, and then just other crypto news around the market, and then we're going to get into the main meat and potatoes of this whole thing. All right, let's do it. Guys, you have any questions? Just ask away in the chat.
Today, another former FTX executive heads to court to reportedly plead guilty to criminal charges. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest teams up with 21 shares to propose a spot Ether ETF. And Zach Townsend of Meanwhile breaks down new accounting standards for companies holding crypto.
Good morning, Leo Lustig. Good to see you, buddy.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Digital currencies rising slightly this morning. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin traded above $25,700. Ether traded just below $16.30. Meanwhile, Solana rose to $19.51.
Pretty much the same where we are
let's
today.
talk about the latest headlines. First, former FTX executive Ryan Salem is heading to court this afternoon, potentially to plead guilty to criminal charges. A hearing is scheduled in Manhattan Federal Court at 3 p.m. on Thursday, and Bloomberg and the New York Times report that after a lengthy negotiation with prosecutors, the former co-CEO of FTX Digital Markets will plead guilty to criminal charges surrounding the collapse of the crypto exchange. Now, CNBC reached out to both Salem's attorney and federal prosecutors, but haven't heard back yet. We will bring you an update on this case tomorrow. Next up, Tornado Cash developer Roman Storm reportedly pleaded not guilty to money laundering and sanctions evasion charges on Wednesday. CoinDesk reports that Storm will be released on a $2 million bond and remain in his Washington home. Storm was one of the founders charged by the Department of Justice back in August for allegedly laundering more than $1 billion in criminal proceeds. Finally,
that was because of Tornado Cash. So if you guys don't know what Tornado Cash is, it was like a more or less a website or a system that would take your crypto, you'd send it to this address, and it would scramble it and send it back however you wanted it, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think it could swap currencies and stuff, but it was, I mean, you could tell that was walking the fine line of money laundering. I mean, if you couldn't, I mean, you're blind. But I've never used it, but I assume that's how it worked.
Hope grows that a spot Bitcoin ETF will get approved in the near future. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest wants to launch a spot Ether ETF. ARK, alongside 21 Shares, filed a proposal with the SEC on Wednesday for an ETF that would directly track the price of Ether held by the fund. Now, ARK 21 Shares also has a proposal in front of the SEC for a spot Bitcoin ETF, which the agency delayed a decision for until November. But the SEC has faced setbacks in its denials of previous spot ETFs, like the recent Grayscale court decision saying the agency must go back and review the firm's proposal to convert its Bitcoin trust into an ETF. All right, for our main story, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, which sets accounting guidelines for U.S. companies, just approved new rules for how companies disclose crypto held on their books. I spoke to Zach Townsend, co-founder and CEO of Meanwhile, to learn what this standards change means for businesses and institutional crypto adoption. So, just as a primer, walk us through the changes to the standards here. What's the biggest revision for the companies who are holding crypto right now? How does it compare to how things were done before?
Yeah. So how things were done before is crypto had to be held on the balance sheet of companies as an intangible asset. And intangible assets are usually things like goodwill or intellectual property, copyright, patents. And what that meant practically is that you had to write down losses, but you couldn't sort of mark-to-market gains. So crypto, or particularly Bitcoin on balance sheets, was in this like weird accounting state. And now the FASB changed it so that it's really just treated as almost any other financial asset. Bitcoin and certain other cryptocurrencies can be marked to market. So every quarter, every year, depending on when your reporting is, companies can now just look at the prevailing price of Bitcoin and mark it on their balance sheet to that. And I think for a lot of companies, that's a much more accurate perspective on the financial state of their balance sheet and like what Bitcoin means on that balance sheet than the previous standard.
Now, this is a change that companies have been pushing for. Can you talk about why businesses are in favor of this change? How pressing was it? And what does it mean for your business as an insurer backed by Bitcoin?
Yeah. So I think that a lot of companies are pushing for it because I think it's a more accurate, Block, MicroStrategies, it's a more accurate, Tesla, a more accurate perspective on where their balance sheet is at. But I think partially they were also pushing for it because, there's only 4 or 5 public companies who are willing to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet and other cryptocurrencies. And the reason that is because of this unusual and I would say unfair accounting treatment that it was getting. So I think for a lot of folks that have been advocating around this change, it's both to ensure that their assets are more accurately reflected, but also to give to corporate treasurers, I think, throughout all public companies, the opportunity to potentially put crypto assets on their balance sheet and to think hard about exactly what asset allocation they might want to crypto. And I think that's good for the whole space, not just for those companies. Our company is somewhat unique. We're domiciled in Bermuda. We're running a life insurance company, and our entire balance sheet is nominated in Bitcoin. But this does make it a lot easier for us to eventually state GAAP financials in the U.S., and it makes it easier for us to state our basically our tax situation to the IRS because of these accounting rules. Ultimately, though, I think what we and many other people would advocate for is, Bitcoin in particular, I think ETH as well, probably even going beyond this standard and moving from it just being another asset to even getting the accounting standard that a foreign currency might get. I think that's a ways away, but I think that should be the ultimate goal for a lot of us in the crypto space.
Now, is this the type of revision that will spur more adoption from businesses? Does it help ensure confidence, or is this more procedural for the companies that already hold crypto?
Yeah. Look, I think it may seem like a pretty boring thing in the sense that, the past few months, we've seen a bunch of ETF announcements. We've seen the SEC losing 2 court cases. But I actually think that this is really important, and it's important in 2 ways. The first is, there's been a quiet battle being waged, I think, by anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin regulators, government officials who are putting a lot of pressure on accounting firms not to audit crypto firms, would have really preferred not to see this rule. So I think it's really important in the long sort of string we've had these last few months in legitimizing crypto, making it easier, and most importantly, more institutional. On the other hand, I do think that it won't just be an accounting standard that's good for MicroStrategy's, Tesla, Coinbase, et cetera, Block. I think this is really going to open up the space to additional players getting in. And I think it'll make it easier, not just for retail folks to get in eventually when the ETFs get approved by like Blackstone and Franklin Templeton and others, but I think it'll allow large corporates, endowments, really anyone who has to state their financials to consider and potentially buy Bitcoin for their balance sheet.
Sticking with sentiment, there was data out earlier today that showed trading volume for crypto was at a 4-year low. Do you think that will still keep most companies on the sidelines?
Yeah. Look, I think August is a slow time in all markets. Although obviously a 4-year low is not ideal, I think the reality is that the last few months have seen many, many strong signals of interest by institutional players. And that doesn't necessarily have to be reflected in the trading volumes or the day-to-day movements of the prices. Candidly, as you mentioned, we run a life insurance company. We think about Bitcoin in terms of decades and where is it going to be in 10, 20, 30 years. And I think that's
how you all should be thinking, by the way.
More important than this month's trading volume. I think that's more important than today's price. And I think when you see a change like this, when you see big institutions launching things like Bitcoin ETFs, those all point to a successful, global interest in Bitcoin and a Bitcoin economy.
Okay, that's all for crypto.
Well, that was kind of boring, but overall, makes sense. A lot of you saying. All right, so let's get into this, right? I really want to play the thing you guys should listen to right now, but I want to go through Altcoin Daily first to give people a chance to get in here before I play that, because I really do think the last thing we're going to listen to is super important, and then we can kind of talk about it a little bit and see how you guys think about it. But Bitcoin going to $100,000 before the 2024 halving, how possible do you guys think that is? Let me know in the chat. I'll put a poll up there. And Pellish Miner, actually, if you want to call in on a Saturday night, you're more than welcome. So just let me know. We usually go about 9, I think it's like 9:45, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday nights if you want to call in for Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live. Anyways, all right, let's get into this. Again, 100,000 before the 2024 halving. This guy has been right, I guess, a lot of the time when it comes to Bitcoin. So this is pretty interesting, and then we'll get into the other part. Let's do it.
I think it's possible that we get to, a new all-time high, like 100,000 or more, even before the halving.
Crypto expert Adam Back just made a bold prediction on Bitcoin, and Adam undoubtedly is a crypto expert. He's a British cryptographer and cypherpunk. Most know him today as the CEO of Blockstream, which was co-founded in 2014. And he is literally the person that invented Hashcash, which is used in the Bitcoin mining process.
Did you guys know that guy created Hashcash or invented Hashcash? That's kind of neat, huh?
Many people suspect Adam of being Satoshi. You can find messages from back in the day of him talking to Satoshi, as well as Adam's work is cited in the Bitcoin white paper. And just know, before we watch this clip in full, that the two things that affect price of any asset is supply and demand. And while the Bitcoin halving next year will be a huge shock on supply, Pompliano went on Fox Business this morning to remind the viewers of the race for the Bitcoin spot ETF in the US, which has huge implications on the demand side.
Is a spot
Remember we watched this yesterday? The lady was soaked talking to him.
Bitcoin ETF going to happen this year? I mean, there's a Hunger Games going on with a whole bunch of different fund companies. In a letter sent to the SEC yesterday, Grayscale urged the regulatory body to reconsider its application to turn its Bitcoin trust into a spot ETF.
Grayscale is trying to be first. They're trying to beat Fidelity, beat BlackRock. This is all SEC dependent if a Bitcoin ETF in America gets approved.
Now what the SEC has to decide is, are they going to allow this conversion? But that's not the only part that they actually have to evaluate. They also have to look at the fact that you have other ETF applications that are out there. And so it's kind of this great race. Do we get the GBTC conversion first, or do we get ETF applications? I tend to think that we don't want to have a financial market where regulators are playing referee in the sense of they get to choose winners and losers. Instead, what we want is we want regulators to create fair markets. And so from my personal perspective, the best thing to do would be just approve them all at once. Say, GBTC, you can convert, BlackRock, ARK, the other filers.
Van Eck.
Everyone gets to go. 1, 2, 3, go. Whoever gets the assets gets the assets. Because part of what we've seen in prior ETF applications that have been approved, whoever gets out there first, they get the assets.
Yeah, Fidelity. I mean, what is more basic and accepted in the world than Fidelity?
Well, like BlackRock, right? It really depends if they're. What do you guys think? Do you think they're gonna like say okay to everything at once, or do you think they're just gonna give like say BlackRock? Like, what if BlackRock's tied in with the government super hard, where it's let's control this thing together, and they buy up all the Bitcoin and then control the banking system. You know what I mean? It's kind of what the next video is going to talk about a little bit, which is kind of strange, but it's weird to think about.
They're applying.
Now, the final deadline for most of these ETFs, the SEC could push until March of next year, but many experts, including Pomp, do think it's coming sooner.
I do believe we will get ETF applications approved before the end of this year. We got about 100 days or so left to go. BlackRock knocking at the door, Fidelity, et cetera, I think really helps. But another key piece to this, and I think people kind of are so focused on the ETF application that they're not looking at the macro impact. And one of the things that recently came out is Bernstein came out with this brand new kind of prediction that this stable coin market, these are just dollars on blockchain, is going to be about a $3 trillion market cap. Now, the reason why that's important is $125 billion today. So they're predicting just dollars alone will go from 125 billion to 3 trillion. If that happens, crazy. Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market will likely be $10+ trillion. We're talking about a market that maybe is just over $1 trillion today. And so these are huge upside numbers.
And a $10 trillion upside from today would be a 10x. A 10x on the entire market. That only comes when you have supply going down and demand going up.
ETF application.
10x would put Bitcoin at $250,000.
Will be the demand shock. The supply shock is coming with the halving, and we should go up hundreds of percent again.
And before we get to this latest XRP news, because on Altcoin Daily, we cover the whole market. That's why you subscribe. What does one of the founding fathers of cryptography think about the effects of the halving in general?
There's a halving event to come, probably in the spring of next year. What impact will that have?
Can you imagine if this mofo was Satoshi? That's the first time I heard of that in this video, by the way. I didn't know. Have you guys ever heard of that? This guy being called out as possible Satoshi? Not sure.
Well, I mean, it's something that there's some debate about whether it's priced in the market. Some people will say, oh, it's priced in, but I think because of the generally high volatility, rather other than the last month, it's quite hard to price in. And it also punctuates the 4-year halving cycle, or economic cycle of Bitcoin. And historically, Bitcoin's done well. Within 6 or 9 months after the halving, there's been a sort of price appreciation part of the cycle. Now, this time.
So what do you think is possible?
Well, I think it's possible that we get to, a new all-time high, like 100,000 or more, even before the halving. Simply for the reason that the last few years have been kind of a depressed market in general, and in the crypto market through a number of bankruptcies and DeFi failures, things like that.
So you really think $100,000 is achievable in Bitcoin before the halving event? There's no fear that you're very resolute on that?
This guy's so pissed. He's like, fuck, I never invested in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I infamously took a small bet with somebody on Twitter on that. It was just some conversation about whether it would happen or not. And this fellow said, well, let's bet on it. So I let him pick the price, and so we're on. Let's see if it happens.
So the exact bet from Adam Back was this. I bet Bitcoin reaches or exceeds $100,000 between now and the halving, or around the 31st of March 2024, with this individual on Twitter, and they wagered 1 million Satoshis to the winner. Now, a SAT is the smallest unit of a Bitcoin. 1 million Satoshis is equivalent to 0.01 of a Bitcoin.
It's 100 million.
So honestly, not that much money. Adam Back is undoubtedly a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. So point is, I take that
And
bet
he's fucking cheap. That's what he's trying to say. He just didn't say it.
With a grain of salt, but understand the reasoning behind it is sound.
ETF application will be the demand shock. The supply shock is coming with the halving, and we should go up hundreds of percent again.
As we wait, we can at least keep tabs on which altcoin projects are making moves. Tech billionaire and the co-founder of Ripple, Chris Larsen, just made a multi-million-dollar donation of XRP to the city of San Francisco.
You've worked with the mayor.
What?
You have made a donation in the form of Ripple cryptocurrency to SF State. Do you feel a responsibility to do all of those things? Just explain the why, first of all.
Yeah, well, I love the city. I was born in the city. My parents met in the city, and it's the most special place in the world. We have our issues.
It's kind of a creepy statement.
There's just nothing like San Francisco. You can't replicate it. So it's worth fighting for and worth investing in.
And many of you are asking me, why are the founders of XRP cryptocurrency planting cameras all over the city? Are they watching me?
Your relationship to the police, as best I can tell, is you've invested and put into place a network of security cameras, essentially, the easiest layman's expression. What is the thesis there? If you install your own cameras, do you intend, I suppose, to hand over the data or the increased surveillance power to the authorities, or do you use that yourself?
Well, just to correct there,
Please.
so our participation with camera networks, we just give money to one of the 18 community benefit districts. They're nonprofits, community governed neighborhoods, and they handle all the cameras. They keep the data only for 30 days, and they work under best practices, no audio, for example. So I think extremely privacy aware, but also recognizing we have a public safety issue. So we need those kinds of tools. But very importantly, we don't control them.
Yes,
we don't
you
have the
yourself
data.
are not up a ladder installing
No,
them.
not at all. Absolutely not.
And obviously, Chris Larsen, being a co-founder, was asked about this lawsuit.
The latest with Ripple Labs action at the federal level is that you have objected to the SEC's request to appeal the original court ruling, which was a positive for Ripple in the sense that it found the cryptocurrency XRP was not a security when it was sold to the public. Could you just explain what the latest is with that legal dispute?
Well, I think the bottom line is the SEC lost on everything that was important to them and important in regulation of the industry. The case still continues. There's appeal processes that everybody has the right to do, but we think that this is really groundbreaking. This is the law of the land, and it is actually quite good news, I think, I think the U.S. screwed up here on crypto and blockchain policy. This is the beginning now, through the courts, unfortunately, instead of through regulators, to get that clarity and get us back in the game.
Be sure to join us.
Very true. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for that video. What do you guys think? I mean, let's check out this poll real quick, and then we will get into the last video that I want to show you guys. It's like 15 minutes long or so, but it's totally worth watching. All right, 100K Bitcoin before the 2024 halving. Yes says 19%. F no says 55%, and not sure says 26%. Thank you guys for voting. Appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button. Only 33 likes, 67 people here, unless you're driving to work, and that's totally an excuse. All right, let's get into this final video. So this is over on Crypto Zombies channel. Again, like I said, he found this YouTuber that he's never heard of before, but this guy speaks the absolute truth on what is actually going on in like behind the scenes with BlackRock, Bitcoin being investing into it, and all this other stuff. So it's pretty neat, and it's totally worth the watch. We can obviously talk about it after the fact, but without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Look at him in his O face.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, you might be noticing a little bit of uptick in the Bitcoin price today. Now, yesterday's video, which didn't get a lot of views, I was explaining to you the situation with Bitcoin and why all of this doom and gloom needs to be ignored. A lot of people think that this ETF, when approved, it's not a matter of if, it's when, that it's going to be absolutely catastrophic for the price. It's just going to be complete manipulation, total suppression, right? And the whole entire ethos of the protocol itself is going to be lost. Well, I'm going to tell you guys.
Someone's burning rubber in the back. This is so weird, by the way. If you guys have never done like vlogging, talking like this, watch the people like just walk by them. It's so weird.
That there is this video
weird.
that you absolutely have to watch that came out from an influencer. His name is British Hodl. Now, first time I ever heard this guy before. So in the next 13 minutes, and I highly suggest you guys stick to the end, he breaks down exactly what is going on in the background with BlackRock, the true nature of what BlackRock is doing, because all these people think that they're smarter than the largest asset manager on planet Earth. Well, it's time for a newsflash, guys. I'm not smarter than them. You're not smarter than them. But this is huge. And if you're thinking about selling your Bitcoin right now, or you're panicking, or you think we're going to go sub 20K or 10K and you don't really understand the implications, I highly, highly suggest that you guys stick to the end, because I think it's going to be absolutely eye-opening.
What is the end goal for BlackRock when it comes to Bitcoin? Why they would suddenly start putting all this effort into getting a Bitcoin ETF approved?
Have you guys seen this guy before? Just for my knowledge, I want to know if you guys ever heard of him. I don't even know what his channel's called. I'm gonna have to check his description after and see if it's in there. But yeah, just seriously, listen to everything this guy is saying.
Larry Fink's talking about Bitcoin on CNBC. I wanted to cover the direction that I think BlackRock will take in this market and give you my prediction on how I think BlackRock and the institutions are going to dominate this industry. So for people who are sitting here thinking about whether you should get into Bitcoin, BlackRock is out here accumulating all the Bitcoin and planning to control the whole industry. You are not the same as BlackRock. BlackRock is very strategic, and they're very, very professional at acquiring assets. You know, when the ESG thing happened, there was one firm that owned a bunch of forest land that could sell carbon credits. BlackRock. Surprise.
If you guys don't know, BlackRock is literally tied into everything. They're just a monopoly. It's crazy. We actually talked about this the other day too, and my reasoning was they want to own as much Bitcoin as possible so they can control the ETF, because when you guys buy into the ETF, you're not actually purchasing, well, you don't actually own the Bitcoin, right? You're purchasing the spot price of it, but in the background, they actually control all of the actual Bitcoin. So again, just continue to listen to this.
Surprise. And you know, the other thing is the ESG overall, while it might be portrayed as a really good thing for the environment and everything else, it has not generated really too positive returns. It's below real inflation levels of returns. And so their investors are looking at them going, what the hell, my return has been so low. So what's the solution? Number one solution, which is what I think is happening right now, is figure out how to take the best performing asset known to mankind and make that quote unquote ESG friendly. And you can now put that asset into the bucket of ESG. Over the next decade, your ESG bucket now looks like it's giving you 20%, whereas before it's giving you 5% a year return. So now the idea of ESG pays off, Bitcoin pays off, everyone's happy, BlackRock looks good, etc., etc., etc. So that's what I think is going to happen in a very strategic way. So firstly, I think BlackRock already has acquired or is acquiring Bitcoin as we speak.
Facts.
They fundamentally understand that there is finality of supply here. They understand how important that is. If they didn't, they would not have bought forest lands to sell carbon credits. There's no value in the trees. There's no value in property if you can build an unlimited amount of property in an unrestricted way. The only very value of life is the fact that it's scarce. So BlackRock truly understands the scarcity argument. I know there's a bunch of people that out there, the $1,000 net worthers and the doom and gloom boomer gang, that believe BlackRock doesn't understand. You think that you on Twitter, reading news once it's posted, retweeting other anonymous people's tweets, you think you know more about the hardest asset known to mankind than BlackRock. You are extremely arrogant.
Real quick, and it's not that it's new, people in here in the chat. So it's not that it's new news. It's the fact that he breaks it down simple for simple brains to understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it's new news. It's just he puts everything all together in one and explains everything over the course of like 13 minutes. which is very important to hear.
I don't care what Larry Fink's been saying on television. If I own a firm that big, I'm assigning 100 people, and their entire life process, life purpose is to figure out Bitcoin. What is there to understand about Bitcoin? What are we missing? What are we not understanding? And I've done this years ago before I really take some action here. And this was evidenced. The internal BlackRock report that was leaked a year or so ago, they understand what Bitcoin is, and you sitting there going, BlackRock doesn't understand what Bitcoin is, you are a fool. You've got to look yourself deep in the eyes in the mirror and question whether you are talking sense or not. BlackRock, I guarantee you, has more people than you know spending their entire day trying to figure out Bitcoin. And now they've figured it out and they want to take a gamble at it. So the ETF is coming out. This allows BlackRock and the institution to suck up all the Bitcoin in the world as much as possible to push it into the ETF. And there is major advantages of that, because if you can control the price appreciation of an asset, that's more than enough for most people. Because whether you want to admit it or not, most of the people that talk about America's so bad, the UK's so bad, Australia's so bad, Canada's so bad, are not doing anything about it. They're not going out there, they're not leaving the country because they've got a house, they've got family, they've got parents, they've got kids, they've got a wife, they've got a husband. They've got commitments in the country, so the most they can do is tweet about it and talk about it. They're not actually physically getting up and leaving. So in that scenario, the idea of sovereignty is less valuable. Most people just want price exposure. Most people relate price exposure to sovereignty. Well, I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong, I'm just telling you how it is, which is why an ETF wrapper is so important for Bitcoin, because it allows people to get that price exposure and it allows them to increase their wealth and then gives them more sovereignty. It might not be true sovereignty, but it gives them a version of sovereignty, because if someone is worth $10 million instead of $100,000, they feel more sovereign. So they're going to suck in all this Bitcoin into this ETF. And I believe the purpose of doing that really is to control as much Bitcoin as possible. So now you use the ETFs to control it, and now they'll add other little services. One of the biggest, most profitable things that's going to come to Bitcoin is lending on Bitcoin, because the amount of money that's generated, the amount of credit expansions that's generated in the world because of lending on existing assets is huge. And I guarantee you it's going to be much more safer for an institution like BlackRock to lend against a Bitcoin ETF than Bitcoin. And Chamath actually did this. Chamath contributed his Bitcoin to GBTC, and he owns the shares of GBTC and he just holds on to them. That's what he did, because this makes sense for someone who is the new buyer of Bitcoin, because the new buyer of Bitcoin is much more sophisticated, much more sharper, and has access to resources and contacts that can allow them to generate liquidity on an asset that the market accepts at a much lower cost basis. For example, if the cost on borrowing against Bitcoin through Unchained Capital is 12% a year, it might only be 8% a year through an ETF wrapper. And that makes a big difference to someone who's playing with $400 million. You've got to start thinking in an expanded way. The game is changing. These people are different. They're going to be buying Bitcoin, waiting for it to go up, liquidating it through these services. And these are extremely, extremely important, because people need access to liquidity. And the banking system's going to love it, because if they borrow against Bitcoin and Bitcoin has this parabolic rise and everyone starts borrowing against it, what happens to the deposit? And this is what Peter Dunworth has been talking about. You want to create liquidity on top of Bitcoin, because that liquidity can be used to continuously circulate within the banking system. So the ETF to me is the best way to do that for the banking system, for BlackRock. So what do? They apply for an ETF once they figure out how to get it approved. And considering they've only ever had one denial of an ETF application in their entire history, so really they've got a 100% success rate. So they're going to get this ETF and they start sucking in all this Bitcoin. There will be people that convert their Bitcoin and put it into this product. Whether you want to judge them or not, I don't give a shit. Whether you are $1,000 net worther and you're going, oh no, but it's about your freedom. Someone who's worth $400 million understands the game much better than you do. And 400 million, there's going to be people with $1 billion of Bitcoin. They completely understand the game and all the financing options that are available much better than you do. This might sound rude and it might come across as offensive to some people watching this, but this is the truth. You have to be aware of this, because if you don't become aware of what these latest financial tools are going to be for you to actually take the Bitcoin that you have, generate liquidity on it so you can do other things without having to sell it, you are going to sell your Bitcoin to these people. They will happily give you $1 million per Bitcoin once they understand it, once it's out there. They will happily give you $1 million. Why? Because they truly understand the finality of the scarcity of the asset.
And that's the point. It's super scarce. Like, they want to collect it all. It's a game of controlling everything.
They understand how important it is to acquire as much of an asset as possible to control the market. Why do you think BlackRock is buying up single-family homes? I read a statistic. Only 41% of single-family homes in the USA are owned by the people who actually live there.
Isn't that crazy? Only 41%? That's nuts.
Think about that. This is already happening in the property market. It's about to happen in Bitcoin, and it's better in Bitcoin because I don't need to send a team nowhere. Once I own the asset, it's on the blockchain, that is done. I infinitely reduce my costs of managing that particular asset. Instead of having a team of 2,000 people over the country making sure valuations are staying on point, etc., I've now got a team of 200 analyzing the market. So their first step is applying for that ETF. The next step is what you saw with KPMG. KPMG put out a report and they said Bitcoin is actually ESG friendly. You don't think, which is what I've been saying on Twitter, 6 to 9 months, a major publication is going to put out a piece on why Bitcoin is ESG friendly? If you don't think that's what's going to happen, you're a moron. Because if I control the media and I influence the media, what I want to do is I want to acquire as much of this asset as possible, convince my investors that they need to acquire as much of this asset as possible. So now I'm going to tell the biggest media organization in the world to do an article on why Bitcoin is ESG friendly, and I'll give them all the data to prove why it is. So now they turn around and say, okay, cool, Bitcoin is now ESG friendly. And now every single fund out there that thought about ESG because BlackRock pressured them into it says, we can tell people that we're being ESG friendly and make 80% CAGR a year. Fuck yes. Get into as much of that asset as possible. It's never going to be 100%, but it's going to be an allocation. And all this time we're talking about an asset that's completely finite. So what's the next step? Own the miners. BlackRock doesn't just come out and say, we'll take a little part of it. They want the whole thing. So they're now...
Again, they invested into 4 out of 5 of the largest mining facilities in the US as of right now.
Going to start increasing their stakes in the miners, and they're now going to start trying to control the miners and trying to get majority interest in all of these miners. So this is the game plan here. Once they control the miners, once they control the ESG narrative, Bitcoin will now become friendly for finance. So the next step might take 6 to 8 years onwards will be to figure out how to integrate Bitcoin in finance, because now we can use Bitcoin and actually help the environment when we do transactions, when we start doing foreign currency transactions. Whoa, cool, buy Strike. Great, Strike's now an ESG friendly company, because now we're promoting the idea of we're saving the environment by using Bitcoin to do international transactions. Great, so now they start controlling financial services when it comes to Bitcoin. Oh, people want to borrow against their Bitcoin? Cool, we already got that happening. All you got to do is put your Bitcoin into the ETF and you can borrow against it. You take that borrowing and you put it into your bank account, and now the bank has generated liquidity to now lend against. So that starts working. And as the price of that asset goes up, you borrow more against it and you put more deposit into the bank. Now the bank can lend against that. So this whole thing is designed for BlackRock to own the future of the expansion of the US dollar empire. Now there's going to be some of you that go, oh my God, this is so bad. You can't control it because Bitcoin is money for everyone.
Facts. We can't control it, but they have enough money to control it.
You cannot control what they're going to do. The byproduct of this is that you'll have a multiple millions of dollars of price action, a price discovery because of the scarcity of the asset. But Bitcoin is going to help the expansion of the US dollar. This is how it's going to work, because this is how it always works when assets go up in value. Assets go up in value, people borrow against those assets, that borrowing gets dumped into the banking system expands. So that's why you have this rotating circle jerk until the whole thing falls apart. But in the
Now, real quick, hold on. I just wanted to stop this. So anybody that doesn't know what ESG is, environmental, social, and governance. It says environmental, social, and governance, ESG, investing is used to screen investments based on corporate policies and to encourage companies to act responsibly. So in case anybody did not know what that meant. All right.
The medium term, I mean 25 to 30 years. Not 5 years, 25 to 30 years. This is going to cause that expansion. It's a different way to create expansion in the world. So the ETF is extremely important. That's why they got into it, because they understand that normal, average, wealthy person wants to own something through an ETF. You don't have any accounting headaches. You don't have any headaches as far as chain analysis goes. You don't have any headaches as far as accounting goes. You don't have any of those headaches. Just buy the ETF, done. Everyone knows how to deal with an ETF. So this is what I think is the plan. They want to control the whole industry, and everything hems on asset control, controlling the main players in the industry, and ultimately financial services. Because the more financial services get adopted onto Bitcoin, the price discovery of Bitcoin goes up. So they will encourage you to borrow against your Bitcoin, right? It makes sense. They'll create the incentive for you to borrow through the financial system. But this is the agenda for BlackRock. And ultimately, the most beautiful thing about Bitcoin is they can't actually control the underlying Bitcoin. They can control however many Bitcoin get put into that ETF, but you will benefit from the price discovery of this asset, even if you are a hodler holding Bitcoin as a bearer instrument, which is what it's designed to be. You will benefit from the price discovery of it as people use it to control the financial industry. There's a lot of depth to the game plan that BlackRock has. Hopefully this gives you an idea of the steps that I've laid out. So you're going to get the ETF first, ESG friendly next, controlling more of the infrastructure, and then you're going to get the idea of financial services, etc., etc., etc. And bear in mind, paying millions of dollars for a Bitcoin is nothing to these people. You have to hold on to your Bitcoin as hard as you possibly can. Protect your Bitcoin at all costs. Stop spending your Bitcoin for pieces of fucking art. This is the most important asset humanity has ever discovered, and you want to spend it right now while BlackRock is getting into this whole thing? It's insane what people are doing. Hold on to your Bitcoin as hard as you can. That should be the mantra for you. And remember, there's only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, you shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.
So that sounds awfully similar to DJ Mines. Is buy Tesla, hold, get rich AF. Isn't that what you say? But legit. So Yankee, to be honest, right? How is anything he said full of shit, right? So think about it. There was an article, actually, the amount of dryers that the US uses just to dry clothes it uses more electricity than all Bitcoin mining facilities combined. So it's, yeah, I don't think that's bullshit at all. But yeah, DJ, how funny would that be if he actually watched you? He just took that quote from you. So funny. All right, let me just finish what Crypto Zombie says here, and then we'll continue.
Obviously, he explained it much better than I've ever been able to put it into words, which is why I wanted to get this video to you guys. Now, I know this is a little bit different video than usual. We will get back into the TA tomorrow, but hopefully after watching this, you understand what is coming. You understand those 3 steps that he mentioned, and this is exactly why we are talking about these crazy numbers, 100K, 1 million, maybe even higher than that, because obviously they don't care when they realize that what you can actually ultimately end up doing is, you know, borrowing against, loaning, fueling the banks, whatever. Like I said, he explained it so much better than me. Drop a like if you enjoyed this, guys. Amazing content from British Hodl. I think he broke it down absolutely perfectly. So until next time, guys, I will see you. Make sure you guys check out these tutorials if you're looking to trade. And remember, there are...
Crypto Zombie is awesome. What did he say? British... What was it? British what? Hold on. You just said it and I freaking forget.
Whatever. Like I said, he explained it so much better than me. That what you can actually ultimately end up doing is, you know, borrowing against, loaning, fueling the banks, whatever. Like I said, he explained it so much better than me. Drop a like if you enjoyed this, guys. Amazing content from British Hodl. I think he broke it down absolutely perfectly. So until next time, guys, I will see you. Make sure you guys check out these tutorials if you're looking to trade.
Let's see. British Hodl. Oh, it is this guy. So he's only got like 8,000 subs. Let me see. I can over here show you guys. This is him. I just subscribed to him. But I mean, to be honest, I don't think he's wrong in any way. I don't think he's wrong at all in that entire thing he just said. So I just subbed to him. I don't know if you guys want to. I'll put this in the live chat. Feel free. But I thought that was a good source of information anyways, because I mean, everything he said is legit. It's totally legit. Like I feel like that is the entire plan behind BlackRock, to control every ounce of Bitcoin that is on the planet, right? That's what they want to do. That's why they went after investing into Bitcoin first, or the ETF. They're already investing into miners because they want the virgin Bitcoin. There's just so much. And so Yankee, it's not if they're running 24/7, even not running 24/7, the amount of people drying clothes is still exceeding the amount the Bitcoin miners are using, or any miners in general are using, electricity wise. So that's just the article that it said. It wasn't it had nothing to do with 24/7 or not. It was just the amount of electricity used. But overall, it's actually, you know what, let me see if I can open that up. Let me find that article. Where can I find that? Let's see. Bitcoin. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Just trying to find an article real quick. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just ripping through this quick. You know what? I'm gonna go in Discord because somebody put it in my Discord. Actually, I think it's in the VIP section. Yankee, you have access to that. Let me see, real quick. Just loading up. All right, what do you guys got in the chat? I will have to do my research, but I doubt my power bill would suggest other. Bro, I paid. Yeah, I mean, my power bill, regardless, is typically around, without even mining, typically around, I'd say, $350 to $500, depending, during the summer with the AC and shit. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, but you got to think, right? So my household, right? Say I'm the only person in my entire town that crypto mines, just for saying it, right? If I'm the only person with a $3,000 electric bill because I'm mining crypto in wherever, my house, my location, right? Now, everybody else in the town combined, right, using just normal shit, dryers, ACs, all that stuff. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It kind of makes sense. The fact that the electricity use would be much greater than just me individually alone. Do you know what I mean? So, let's see. Even green people hate Tesla. I'll be this. All right, let me see. Let me go to my VIP section quick. I gotta find that article. It was like a little bit up inside this chat, so bear with me. Oh, here it is, actually. Oh shit, it was you know what, it wasn't even a link. It was here, I'll open this in the browser. It's gonna, oh, went over here. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, it was just a snapshot of the tweet. Americans drying clothes 108 terawatts, right? And then the world's mining Bitcoin 95.5 terawatts. I don't know how true this is, but it says source Cambridge University. I'm assuming they did the math on it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. One of those things. It's like, what do you believe? Is it really pollution? I doubt it, but I don't know. I just work here, man. That's it. Bitcoin, everything's still staying. Everything's pretty green today, though. Looks pretty nice. Not too bad. All right, what do you guys got in the chat? Let me see. What did you guys think about that guy overall? To be honest, it's not like we steal electricity. We pay for it. Exactly, Monster Pro. Very true. Very true. Let's see. Horse farts pollutes his galaxy. I love to see how they can monitor it, says Nismo Miner. Monitor what? Just crypto in general? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, are you talking about the electricity thing? How they monitor that? Yeah, I don't know how they would do that, to be honest, but I would assume it's probably statistics from the electrical grid, the companies, you know, everybody that provides electricity, like the actual hubs, if I had to guess, but who knows, right? They probably just individualize like where a Bitcoin mining facility is, and then they're probably just labeling everything else as dryers, if I had to guess, right? And that would be a total guess. Let's see. BTC will be 100 million easily. You think so, Alvidus? It would be nice. It would be nice. We'd all be loaded, but I don't know. Let's see. Yankee says, I'm not green. I'm just a realist. Oh, realistic rather. Yes. Damn, 500. Yeah, DJ, my electric bill's quite a bit. Well, it's you get 2 AC systems, and it's been hot as balls this friggin' year. It's just crazy. Patrick Murphy says, is he a Bitcoin maxi? And 99% of his videos are Bitcoin is the way. Why altcoins should be burned at the stake. I'm not sure. I've never checked out his channel. I don't know. Where the F? I have to see. Let me go back to YouTube. I am log. Let me see. Right here. Oh, by the way, did you guys know that freaking Ben Armstrong made a new channel? He's already got 29,000 subs. Like 10 minutes. This guy. If you guys are interested, I'll put this in the chat. Not that I really give a shit about him, but I don't. The whole situation's fucking stupid. But here is the if you guys want to sub to Ben Armstrong, feel free. That's his new channel. All right, the British Hodl. Yeah, I don't know if his all this shit is like Bitcoin Maxi. He probably is. I mean, I would assume. When to borrow money against when to borrow against Bitcoin. Please take my Bitcoin. Corporations can now buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is your best chance. Well, these are all long videos too. Well, this one's 30 minutes. This is an hour. This is an interview. That's kind of neat. I'm gonna listen to that later. Kind of neat. I mean, hey, I don't think he was wrong, to be honest. I don't think he was wrong in that entire thing that he just had on Crypto Zombie's channel, or the video that Crypto Zombie took. It makes total sense as to why they're investing into so much Bitcoin stuff, right? Just when it comes to trying to invest, or there's no way they're not already purchasing Bitcoin in the background, right? But investing into miners, like, there's obviously a gigantic plan that they have. That guy is a propaganda machine. Yankee, you sound like a propaganda machine right now. Oh, you're going after it. No, but I mean, you can't say everything he said isn't true. Everything he said, or most of what he said in that video, was true, right? The entire plan behind what they're doing, it's legit. Let's see. That's the feel I was getting. Says Patrick Murphy. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see. How many of you got? You know what? Let's put a poll in the chat. I want to know. Let's put a poll in the chat. How many of you agree with the British model? I'm just gonna put agree and disagree. I want to know. Let's do it. Let's duke it out. How many of you guys agree with what he said in that video? Hopefully you guys were here for it. And how many of you disagree? Let's see. Patrick Murphy. I'm sponsored by Downey. Oh, you're so stupid, Yankee. God damn it. Nerd Beast said, maybe I am just tired of hearing the same thing over and over. Plus, I have not had coffee, so I am grumpy AF. Hashtag buy more Bitcoin. Nerd Beast. Yeah, I bet. It's, you know what though? Everybody has those days, right? But it is freaking annoying, right? Listening to the same shit over and over and over. It gets repetitive and tedious, and just, you know, it's not something that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel natural, right? If you just continue to listen to it. But at the same time, you can't deny that that's the way shit's going. One Satoshi coin will be $1. Alvidus, could you imagine if that was the case? God damn, that'd be crazy. Any plans bringing the afternoon streams back? As a pirate, I wish when the kids go to school, that's really the only way to do it, because my daughter does not nap now. And if she does, it's like we're running around all day, and then I'm falling asleep with her because I'm sitting down with her and we just pass out. But other than that, she doesn't sleep. She will not nap. Let's see. I just got my 2 jazz miners. Gonna set them up today. My coffee is brewing. Nismo miner. Good for you. You know what? I actually have to get my jazz miner into my trailer, and it sucks because I have to move everything in that damn server case. Server rack, rather. Server rack, right? Yeah. I think it's called server rack. That, what was it? 50, I don't know. I think I got like a 56, whatever. Section 1, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't fucking know. I think it was like 54 inches tall or something, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe 64 inches tall, whatever. But it's a huge rack, just like I put all my shit in. And I love that the jazz miners are rack mountable. It just makes it so much easier. But I'm like such an anal fuck that I want to have the jazz miner X16Q on the bottom. I got to have it all like in order, right? So like, or whatever, X4 1U, then I got the X4Q, and then the X16Q. Like, you got to have them all together. Some weirdo, but I don't know. I got to mess with that. So I'm going to record that for Sunday. That's going to be the video we're going to have out. And also, actually, what do you guys want me to mine with that? I'm thinking I really kind of want to try to mine Octaspace, but the thing that I don't like is the fact that I have to use MetaMask. I hate MetaMask. I don't know. MetaMask, I just don't trust it. It's such a freaking, it's like a hacker's wet dream, that a Mask wallet, I feel like. Let's see if that clip plays back how I heard it said. What are you watching it again? What, the what, this guy? The British Hodl over on Mr. Crypto Zombies channel. Hold on, let me see if he's got the actual thing in the description. I don't think he does. Does he? I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. He doesn't have. Man, am I the only one that puts everybody else's video in my description just to not be a dick? Really? That's weird. You'd think he put this guy's video in there. Which video is it? I want to know what video it is. Because it was... Oh, it was this one then, right? This one?
All right, everyone's jumping up and down regarding the FASB rule change.
Is it this one? Hold on, let's see. No, he's not wearing the same thing. He's not wearing the same thing. No, it's not that one. I don't know what video it is, actually, on his channel. Strange. Patrick Murphy, are you trying to find the original video? Why BlackRock is coming to take your Bitcoin? Yeah, it's I guess it is kind of looking at all his shit, it is kind of like, all right, bro, take it easy, right? But in the same, or the other side of the same slice of bread, right? It's it kind of makes sense. But yeah, hey, listen, he's getting the views for it, so good for him. He's getting more fucking views than I'm getting on videos, and same with pretty much everybody in the space. Like this is pretty much equivalent to Panda, and this guy has 8,000 subs, so you know what I mean. Good for him. Good for him. Yankee, have a good day, buddy. Off to the coal mines. Peace out. See you later, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna be getting out of here as well. It is 9 o'clock and I do have to jet, but at least you guys have something to think about. If you need to rewatch this, rewatch it. Go to Crypto Zombies channel. I got the link in the description below if you guys are interested to listen to that again. It's something that we all need to be aware of and see like the big picture, right? Don't sell out of your BTC. Not financial advice, but don't sell out of it in a panic because we might see it drop back down a little more this month or next month or whatever. Just, I don't know. I would just hold it and wait. That's what I'm doing personally. So you guys choose to do what you want, but just be safe. Can I mine Octaspace with a 3060? I don't know. That's a good question. I've never mined it at all. So I'm going to look into it today, actually. And yeah, I'll keep you posted on that, Monster Pro. If you're not in Discord, jump in Misfit Mining Discord and we'll get that. Andrew Masad, or we'll get you situated. If I can, I'll let you know. Andrew Masad said always zoom out. You know what? Hold on, let me see. If we go to before we get out of here, mine the ASIC. Mine the no, I didn't want to do that. What do I want to do? Like, would you be? I don't see. Oh, that's what it was. Hashrate.no. Like friggin' brain fart. I'm assuming you can. So hashrate.no is actually a good place to check. How do I do coins? Oh, Octaspace, you can mine. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's see. If I go to GPUs, go to a 3060. Is that what you wanted? 3060. Let's see if Octaspace is on the list. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to mine it, but maybe you can't. I don't know. Oh, right here. There you go. Yes, you can. Bingo. There's your answer. Here it is. I'll give you this. And this is a good place to get started with. And then you can, I don't know. See if that works. See if it works. If you can, awesome. Someone says the DAG size. DAG is too small, says Dave's FinTech. Okay. You can't mine Octa on an E9 Pro. Oh, you're talking about E9 Pro. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it. Let me know if it works. If you can mine it. I don't see why not. If it's on this site, someone's mined it. ROI, NA, yeah, it doesn't matter. But hash rate's 48, it says. Kill 112 watts. That's actually not bad, right? I mean, but you're losing money on it. You're not making money with Octaspace on your GPU. Depending on what your electric rate is. I guess it's at 9 cents. We're at 10 cents. Let's see. 10 cents. Even if you're at 10 cents, it didn't look like it updated. Or I could be wrong. 11 cents. Yeah, you're losing money. You're losing money. You're definitely losing money. But anyways, all right, guys, hopefully y'all have a wonderful Friday. Happy payday to a lot of you guys. So unless you're bi-weekly, then oh well, you're gonna have to wait. Anyways, have a good day, guys. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. It's gonna be 9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. But either way, have a good day and peace out. Smash that like on the way out, please. Peace, peace.